Okay, do we got audio now? I've just killed the other guys because we're coming to you live from Phoenix off of my cell phone. So, uh, a little different show. I was hoping we could make this work, but it doesn't look like it at this point. Doesn't look like I can share video anymore. I was hoping to be able to do that, but hey, it is what it is. So we're coming to you live in the Cubieverse. I think this is show 16, which is kind of a special. Um, Magic Dragon's going to be in the commentary, and we'll go from there. But we're here in Phoenix at the event. It's been pretty. It's been pretty good so far. I think everybody's had a great time. But I think we had about last count just under 50 players have shown up, signed up and played, which is really awesome of getting to meet a lot of people. The best news, of course, is that Team Toronto showed up in numbers, and it um, looks like the next event's going to be at Toronto. So yay! Because I know there's a lot of people in that area that were hoping they'd make it but couldn't. So Toronto event should be huge. Not that that's an official announcement or anything, but that seems to be the feel as it is. Um, Gonna call out Raishu, who created some Team Toronto T-shirts for us. So we're all able to show up and look stylish in that. So that was really good. From an event perspective, I think this is a really smooth, well run event so far. There's been like one minor glitch at the first guy, and they got that solved within probably by the time I got to the second guy. But so the way the event here started off with, as I said, we all met at the love sign. I know we were tweeting out some uh, postcards, I guess, of things going on at throughout the week. So I don't, or a couple days. So I don't know if you've seen any of those, but the love sign was a starting point, and from there, they handed out some cool bracelets. I don't know if you can see that, but hey, souvenir bracelet you get, kind of neat. Um, and everybody, oh, guess what? Can we change that? No. No, change that. So,
Hello.
Gold Miner has decided to join us here, which is kind of cool. So, yay. We're just going to see if we can do the orientation on that. All right. So, this actually works out okay. So, what do you think from the start? We met a lot of people initially, right? Like, oh,
Yeah, we met a lot of people, a lot of nice people, a lot of Toronto people, which was awesome. Um, Hot, really hot in here or out there. Thankfully, a lot of us had cars that we could drive around in and stay cool and go into
that,
restaurants and
that was the one thing that I heard was that you definitely needed access to a vehicle to take full advantage of the event at this point,
yeah.
and that wasn't overly clear kind of from the start. Um, but the way it worked here is in Scottsdale, um, they had the center starting point, and it was very heavily populated with vaults, which was good. Looks like they proceeded to add additional vaults to that. And from there, there was 11 Quintons, which I was calling the Quinton Trail. And the Quintons were the explorer-looking guy that you would have seen on the.
he was a camera guy, but
No, but you would have seen it on the Hunter's Lodge.
there we
Hunter's
go.
Lodge. I'm
Yes.
terrible with names. So from there, and so you got to look. The great thing with it was actually I should go back and say white vaults are giving out apples, 10 apples a piece.
Which is problematic when you want to print all three cubies, and that's 3,500 apples you need.
Yeah.
So all we've been doing is driving around, walking around, getting white vaults and blue vaults to try to make sure that we can actually print all three. And that's one of my biggest challenges, I feel.
Yeah, and I think that's from a game design perspective. That's pretty good because we had intentions of coming here and being able to um, generate enough resources to print and sell dozens of cubies as a result of this. But
We might be lucky to have one of each for ourselves.
yes, so that's that's I think is good because they knew most people coming here were going to be pretty hardcore hunters. They didn't necessarily want to flood the market, so as a result, the resources are much more scarce than per se in a event with Zelda, the Zelda event, or the Wire event,
Yeah.
or so, where you could go and get a couple of those in a day. So, and they haven't increased the payout range. So, we're getting 10 apples. You obviously need 500 of those for the apple QB vault, which is going to drop. Um,
1,000 for the no,
you need 1,000 apples for
for
the
the
peach
peach.
and 2,000 apples for the watermelon, which is standard. The blue vault is dropping the peach, and the blue vault drops
Watermelon.
half the time it's watermelon, half the time it's peaches. You get 15 of those from each blue vault, so that's another limiting factor. And then the epic, which is the watermelon, comes from the Quintons or getting the
Restaurant trips.
restaurant trips. So the Quintons, as I said, were cool. So we start off and you work your way along, and I think you're pretty much guaranteed by the end, if you do everything, to get all of the blueprints, which I think is important. If you're coming here, spend the money on the trip, that you would get them. The limiting factor to make them rare and whatnot is your ability to obtain the resources to get them.
Mm-hmm.
I think from a design perspective, I think that's pretty good. Um, I think that um, it's fair, right? The Apple is a one-time drop. I don't know how they're going to do that in other future events. We're thinking, um, and likewise, we were wondering if they have it at Toronto. Um, is it going to be a fruit fest again at Toronto, or is it going to be another type of event so that they may rotate between um, the various different festivals at each of these city breakouts or so? Well, I guess we'll find that out for sure.
It was suggested raccoons, maybe,
It was suggested raccoons for Toronto, so
and Rob
we're
Ford, the
and
disgraced mayor.
yes, and an epic crack mayor QB for Rob Ford for Toronto. So that's that's potential on the table. Anyways, so you start off, and the first Quentin we got to um, was a bit of a surprise because you put it in and he pops up, and I'd love to be able to show some videos here, um, but Quentin pops up, and what do you get? You get a question, and you don't. And the thing with the question is, it's not timed, but you actually have to type in an answer, which is, I think this is the first time I've ever had to actually
Mm-hmm.
physically type in the answer. So, and where we were, it was at a clock, and the I think the answer was four, in which you had to read off of the plaque, which was kind of cool because you had to find it, read it, and do that. And once you got it in, now there was some initial confusion because some people were putting number four in, and some people were typing four in, and people that were typing four in were getting it wrong. So um, people that typed it in weren't liking that. We fortunately were able to put the right four in, read it, put the four in, which is good. Um, and then once you get it completed, it goes yay, and you now have a spinning wheel. So, which we've seen on the Hunter's Lodge and whatnot. And there were seven squares on the spinning wheel, and one of those contained the epic blueprint. So you gave it a spin, it spun around, and I was a first couple of people um, got the blueprint right away, which was kind of crusty moment for everyone else. Um, But
Until Atrocities spun and got a wires.
wires, yes, I spun around and got wires, right? And so there were it was giving out it was giving out basically the blueprint. It was giving you out the resources being fireflies,
Fireflies, and I think
fireflies,
there might have been fruit in there too.
fireflies, peaches, and you need the fireflies for the epic. And then there was one square which is I
It
could
was something related to that plaque or the item that you were finding the quintonat, and this one was wires.
yes.
We came across others that had paper. Um,
There was one horses had straw,
yeah,
which is cool.
coal wood.
Cool. So I liked from a design perspective. I liked that. I liked how they tied those resources in. There's one that gave out bolts as well. Everybody likes bolts or Halloween stuff. Um, but so I like how they tied it in. But I know a lot of people were thinking, hey, like I would prefer to have the actual resources for it. Um, but it was cool. So we did the first one. And then from there, you could see basically 11 of them in a row, which kind of helped you kind of work your way down the Quinton Trail to the end. We took about 4 or 5 tries before we got the blueprint, the epic blueprint, which was finally great when you get it. But of course, when you get the blueprint, it pulls the blueprint off and you get replaced with the option to get 100,000 resin. Well, I tell you, I got 100,000 resin a lot.
He's
Um,
probably at about a million resin that he's picked up along the way.
yeah. And if you're short on resin, that might be a good thing for you, but I'm trying to get event resources, so yeah. Um, so, but then, so we did the 11, we got through, and then there was another 4 located at the
Botanical Gardens.
Botanical Gardens, which you needed a car to get to, which was kind of cool. And it was kind of like a team effort from everybody around that was finding these things. The Botanical Gardens really cool. So,
But cost $26 per person to get into.
yeah, which hey, that's they're kind of promotion tie-in, so that's cool. I know I was talking to somebody there. They decided that it was late in the day they weren't going to do it, and other people said, yeah, we'll do it. We'll figure it out. And then the other ones were located downtown around the baseball stadium. There's 6 of them.
Chase Stadium.
Chase Stadium. The problem with one of those was it was on a street that was closed for some reason, which is kind of unfortunate because we had to go back the next day.
But we also got 2 more at Heard Museum.
There's 2 museums down there. One was the Herd and one was the Art Museum, I think.
Yes.
So that was cool. Got that. But at this point, we're still short on resources to print the Epic. And we could print the other 2, but we're saving those apples for the Epic. So we are leaving tomorrow, so we've got a lot more hunting left to do to get it.
We may not sleep before we have to fly out.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. So, anyways, bottom line is, I think that event's been pretty cool so far. What's your thoughts on it in general?
It has been really good. The negative is the heat. It's just been sweltering down here. Um, but, it is what it is, and drink lots of water and
Yeah.
keep on moving and get to where you need to be and get in the car and drive around with air conditioning on.
Yeah, and the other offset to that is part of it is that um, there are 5 restaurants that they partnered with, so you can go into the restaurant when you're kind of there, heated or whatever, and if you're hungry, you can have a meal. We've been had a couple meals, and sometimes we have just stopped and got a refreshment beverage um, at those points. Those ones very work similar to a sushi quest, whereby you come in and you start your timer. You got to wait 30 minutes for your timer to expire. So we have a sit down, have a refreshing drink, and then once again at the end of that you get a spin of the wheel. These wheels have less. They don't have the ramness. I think for the most part, it's either
It's
fireflies, which you need for the epic, or
peaches and watermelon.
and watermelons. So
Like Likewise, you also haven't touched on pub crawl, have you?
No, we haven't not got that public
Yeah,
holiday. So
that was fun.
that was fun, but like yesterday, we kind of got through our Quintons. We were all done. I think the pub crawl started at 8 o'clock local, and we kind of got back here at 7, and we're just wanting to chill out. And then I was like, no, we gotta go to the pub crawl. So pub crawl was cool. There was like a bunch of different pub crawls, and then it was the same questions at every pub crawl. I had done a bunch of research ahead of time because I had expected that the topic of the pub crawl trivia was going to be
Arizona.
Scottsdale, Arizona trivia. Turns out, nope, it was liquor,
Well, soda, coffees, um,
wines,
wines,
beers.
beers, and then random of all
Right.
of those stuffing together.
And if you remember the Cubier event, trivia event, it worked very similarly, where you basically had like question difficulty going up, and you had a certain number of lives that you had. That every time you got one wrong, you lost a life. Um, but at the same time, you could only go into certain levels with one life to live. So uh, so it was good. People tended to were fairly generous um, with assisting and helping other people do it. So from a teamwork perspective, that was really good. The one guy um, who had a significant advantage, I think he'd been a bartender in a previous life or
No, it
something.
worked at a winery.
Worked at a winery in a previous their experience. So he was very generous with his knowledge, and he actually, in fact, won.
One.
So congratulations to
Esposi too.
Esposi too.
Hopefully, we're saying that right.
Hopefully, we're saying that right. We did spend a good portion of the day with him, going around doing things. So congratulations to him on that.
And that's pretty much after like zero sleep for probably 24 hours because he'd just gotten back from another holiday and then flew right here from Toronto.
yeah.
So.
So congratulations to him. So that was really good. So, but the pub crawl was really cool. We had like 5 different events. Five
Six
or
or
six?
seven?
I don't know. They kept adding or subtracting or whatever it was. We got around. I think everything went really well from that perspective. Pretty much everybody from that walks away with a Scottsdale Cubie, which is unique to this. And then the number one place got the Epic, which will show up again, as will positions 2nd through 10. Won the rare
Fran?
Fran, I think it was, but they'll also show up again. So we'll have another chance, and I guess I won't study local history next time. So
Although maybe next time it'll be local history.
who knows?
But Toronto, October, it sounds like, of
Yes,
this year.
for sure. So I think as we've been having a great time, for sure. I don't know if anybody in the comments. I've seen a lot of people in the comments here talking about it or so. No real comments lately, but I think it's been a really good event. I think I can't really complain. I know they talked about the heat was probably the biggest thing, but with the need to go to the restaurants, I think you can kind of offset those. The guys that went and got the first prints on the first day, I don't know for a fact that they went hardcore on the um, vaults versus other people were maybe taking the restaurants because they sucked up a lot
But
of
there
time.
was also that one spinner with a lot of apples that only gave out apples, so that could have
Yes.
been.
Apples, but I got 100,000 resin on that. So yes, my RNG was not been too good.
Unless your RNG was for resin.
Yes.
But, but yeah, all in all, this was a great event. It was fun. If we were doing this again, I would say I would want an extra day here, so we would have more time to collect some more. Um,
Yeah,
like
and that is
more-
one thing we
more
didn't know
resources.
until we got here was that they extend the closing date out in the event to the 1st of June. So people are staying here can continue to collect resources and the only thing that's not really available is the the bar crawl that was in the evening, and they cut that one off at midnight. So there were people that were having excellent runs at midnight that weren't quite done at the final bar and got cut off right in the middle.
That was
So
me.
she was one of them. So um, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
And that was all considered on that. You had to click into the bar once you arrived, and we had 20
I
minutes
have to wait 20 minutes.
before your questions would come up. So, unfortunately, we were late getting to the last one.
We weren't.
Well, not late,
We
but
cut it. We cut it close. We
too
ended up
close for
grabbing
some of us.
an Uber to get to that one because we knew it was going to be close.
Yeah.
Um, I had enough time to complete because I got eliminated far earlier. Not far earlier. I completed mine a couple minutes before because I got more wrong because I hadn't studied wines or not the history of them. I usually just drink. So, but hey, we've met a lot of people here. It's been great. I don't know if anybody wants to comment in the chats or so, but um, I was hoping we could
We got cut off too. Yes.
throw out some videos and stuff for people to watch here. Maybe we'll release some of those next time or so. We can go over some of that video commentary because I was taking like a copy, a video of all the stuff we've done. I was hoping to show that, but obviously technical issues here is not quite great. But hey, it is what it is. It's we got to be able to put together a show, kind of. So it's cool. Do you have anything else you want to
No,
discuss?
I
Think
think
about um, you know, uh, Meta Illusion Weaver. Actually, talked to him briefly or so. He did say that he might be able to get us some more loot codes for
the next
next
show.
next show or so if we're doing some more of this. So um, make sure you make it live for that one as well.
Maybe it'll be apples.
It might be apples. Hopefully, be apples. Um,
Oh, also Billy Barker, who is another player here in Arizona,
local
local player in Arizona. He finished his
pizza shack.
pizza shack,
shop.
so we were able to use that for the first time, which was pretty cool. Thanks to some of the I think some of the Toronto guys that filled up his build and had it finished right then.
I think Rashid plopped in his.
Machine Gun Kelly?
No, he had the architect
Oh,
and took like 2 days off it or something like that, and was able to complete it herself. So
so we drove out to that and opened that for the first time. So, yay for that. That was neat.
yes, for sure. And we've definitely been around here, covered off a bunch of other trade shacks in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one thing that we learned is that before we left, we knew it was our day to convert Cubie coins into crystal keys. We had we flew in the morning and we normally able to complete in the evening. So we got down here, found a conversion shop. What are they called?
Vending machine.
Vending machine. I'm terrible. I found a vending machine, and a message came up. Like basically, it was a black screen came up that wasn't letting us convert. So like, oh, maybe we need to move our headquarters. So we moved our headquarters, and did it again. Same response. So threw a ticket in and found out the response found out that says basically you cannot convert crystal keys outside of your home country. So that's too
That's
bad.
our tip.
But that's a lesson to be aware of in the future for anybody who's watching this, and hopes to travel. Because right now our headquarters are located at some random post office in Scottsdale. So
Phoenix or some. It's
Might have
half
been.
an hour away.
yeah, so obviously we'll need to move them at some point. But that is that. Yeah, so that's a lesson tip for anybody. Um, otherwise, yeah, I think that's all we want. I know we wanted a bit shorter show, a bit different format. Magic Dragon was in the comments here at some point. talking with stuff. I don't know if anybody's got any comments he wants to add. I know we had some audio, so we had the issues, so we had to dump him, but because we're using YouTube Live, which uh, seems to have some uh, functionality that we're only taking our using our camera for. So be it. Anyways, we do want to go out and get some more
Resources.
resources before we have to go. But likewise, if anybody did not come and is able to get here, um, you do have till June 1st to get here. So if if you're able to swing it, um, and want to get the Apple blueprint, which is definitely not coming back, you can definitely do it. You'll obviously be able to get the other resources as well. Probably a bit easier for you because you'll know where the various Quintons are and all of the answers, I think, to the questions. Um,
Or on the Scottsdale.
are probably on the Scottsdale thread where people have been talking about them. As I said, I really like that. I liked that you're able to, you had to figure them out. A lot of them were fairly straightforward, where there's a plaque or something else you could see. But it's definitely a different approach to questions rather than having like four answers come up and you can guess. So I do like that. I think that's just adds a different wrinkle to it. I know in the one case I had a question came up which was about the shape of flowers attract hummingbirds. I had no idea. I looked around for a plaque, couldn't find one.
Anyone have any ideas that hasn't been in Arizona?
All right. I don't know if people want to throw any comments in on that. What they might think it might be. I'll give you a second if you do. It might be worth a shout out. Anyways, um, anyways, tried to Google it, couldn't get the right answer on that one. So I ended up walking up to a worker, and I asked him a question, and he gave me the answer. He looked at me, I explained what I'm doing. He gave me an answer give me the answer. I'm like, hey, that's great, thank you. So keyed it in, and it worked. So like very happy. I went down to the next. We went down to the next location, and it was having a private function, so we weren't able to go too far in. Uh, but I saw the same worker, and I walked up to him and I asked him the next question because we were able to click on the Quentin, and he was able to share with me the answer to that question as well, which was very helpful. So, did explain to the guy the game and what was on. So, who knows? Maybe he'll be a new member at some point in time. So,
So the answer is trumpet. For those who all wanted to know.
there you go. So, awesome. All right. Well, thanks very much for tuning in for the shorter show. Uh, Thank you, Goldminer, for stepping in today, so I'm just not talking to myself and the camera. Thanks and to not Goldminer, Magic Dragon and Lionheart for bearing with the technical issues that we had today. Obviously, normally I'm not running this off of the phone. Um,
And Chaotic Kitten, you're right. It was great meeting everybody. It was really, really fun. Really fun putting names and faces together, or screen names or game names to
for
faces.
sure. Likewise, as I said, a lot of people found it awkward introducing themselves with their game name as opposed to the real name. So that was that was that was fun. So,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, yeah, I think we want to try and go get some more resources and whatnot. So
Try? No, we have to.
we have to. Yes, we definitely have to.
We
So
only need to hit another 150 or so white vaults
for sure,
tonight.
tonight or tomorrow morning. So we might not be sleeping. So uh, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to sign off for now. As I say, like, subscribe, comment below, and all the other YouTube stuff. And we will return next week with Magic Dragon and Lionheart. And I think We hinted last time that we had something kind of special in the works. That is still in the works. It's likely to be happening. I have to iron out the details for that show, but you'll want to be there live for that, so you don't miss out. So
Nobody got you drunk enough at the pub crawl last night
I
to
didn't really get it, and no one.
get any information out of you.
That is very true. That is very true. So no one was trying. So, anyways, yeah. All right. Thank you very much for joining us into the Cubieverse, and we will uh, talk to you next time. Hopefully, you got some value out of this, and likewise next week. Hopefully, we'll not just be able to describe the what was happening, but we can show some quick videos of all the fun and event. But if you can make it to Scottsdale before June 1st, um, I think it's worth the trip
It's a
for sure.
pretty city, and it feels very safe here.
Yeah, it's a very nice city. I don't think I would have ever come here before without this event. So thanks for hosting the event here because this is it's a really cool area. So awesome. All right. Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.